Hi, I'm Dr. Montagna. We're going to continue this talk on Lyme disease. Going to be going over why Lyme is really called the great imitator. It's a really an interesting thing when we start to look at some of the research that's out there. There's brain banks that hold Alzheimer's brains in them. Occasionally they'll take a sample off that brain bank and look at it under a microscope. 75 to 100% of the brains have been found in Alzheimer's brain banks have been found to have Lyme disease in them. MS, multiple sclerosis, it's endemic in Iceland. Endemic means it's just rampant through the whole population. They have brain banks of MS brains over there in Iceland. When they do studies on those, they take some slices out of brains and they look at them under a microscope. They say the same thing that with the Alzheimer's brains over here, 75 to 100% of those have Lyme disease in them. There's been links to Lou Gehrig's. All this is a class of one sort of dementia or another. Malaria, that's typically related to Babesia, one of the more common co-infections that go along with Lyme disease. It's known to have malaria-like fevers. They can get quite high. I myself ran into this in myself many years ago and had fevers 104, spiking up from there, and nothing really would really take care of those. They finally started to subside, and it took me some tools to figure out what was going on, and once I addressed it, all that went away, which was nice. Arthritis is really one of the things that it was found to have originally with original diagnosis. Young kids were found to have some strange new arthritis. Dermatitis, it can create rashes. Dermatitis is kind of an interesting one. Dermatitis is really a common response to internal toxins going on inside of us. And whenever we have a chronic disease issue, we have all kinds of toxicity things going on, and our elimination processes typically are going to be quite compromised. So what happens is those toxins try and go out our secondary elimination organs, which is lungs and skin, and that's where you get a lot of your respiratory problems, your skin problems also. Anemia is another thing that happens with Lyme disease. That's very common with the co-infection of Babesia. Babesia is a one-celled little animal that climbs inside of blood cells, your red blood cells actually, and it eats them from the inside out. So it's a big cause for anemia and breaking blood vessels also. Chronic fatigue is a real common one. Most of that has to do with all the stresses and toxins going on inside of the body. So when we start to see these issues of, we start to see a reason why Lyme disease is called the great imitator. It's typically not just one thing going on. There's multiple co-infections that are commonly associated with Lyme disease. I don't believe I've ever seen a case where there's just one infective issue going on. But with all of that, we have all these different organ systems and parts of our body that get infected in different ways, and each one of those creates its own symptomatic pattern. So it's a no wonder why we have all these imitations of all these different diseases, because we have a multitude of things going on and a multitude of tissues that take a very complex, interactive clinician to be able to figure all that stuff out and figure out some real key things to get people on the other side of this. So if you like this, hit the like down below, subscribe to our channel, and if you have any other subjects you'd really like to see covered, give us a note and we'll try and cover those in the past.